on recruiting for a minute. I think it's pretty clear now that these young guys and girls too see the world a little differently than we do, and the guys that came before them. Some of the best prospects in this area have fled. Right now, probably our best ninth grade prospect is playing in Memphis, Tennessee. Justice, that's Ahmad Noel. And Justice and Jalen Duran are playing as 11th graders in Florida. Chance Westry left the region. He's playing as an 11th grader in California. AJ Hogarth spent his final 2 high school seasons in West Virginia. My question for you guys is this the new normal? Could we expect to see more and more of this? And do you think that these moves significantly enhance the development and the recruitment opportunities for these kids? And lastly, is it a chance in hell that we can get any of these kids after they do that to come back and play in the city? Malik?
So me, I think so. I think we can. I think it just has to be that infrastructure. I don't want to speak too much, but I think like my whole mission is to build that, to try to, to come back home, to try to build that to where those kids don't have to, is a high school here that's elite. Is more than one Nike team here that's elite. Is more than one high school team here.
It is. It's more than one Nike team here that's elite. It is.
So I mean, that just it's more than one. It's not just you got this option, and then it's like, if I'm not good enough for this option, then it's like I gotta get out of here because I feel as though I'm gonna get overlooked. Then you know what I mean. So it gotta be
so
school.
What about the schools though? Do you think like Dr. Scott is really blowing up, and he did it right in the pub, man? Wooga didn't even play in 9th grade. So in 2 years of high school ball, he's managed to, put himself in an ACC position. Do you think that these kids would have been better if they had left?
I think the first thing is just our infrastructure. It's just like the pub is just like 100 teams. Like if we can have a public league of 10 teams, and we can like if there's a way we could do something like that, 10 teams. And do a Catholic league of the top elite team. You know what I mean? The public league is just 100 teams. So it's so many bad games that these kids are playing that, it makes them want to leave. You know what I mean? But if we can kind of condense that and have all our top or have more showcases in the area or just, you know what I mean? But there's a way that we can have basketball here because we got a great basketball minds here. We got resources here. You know what I mean? We got guys coming back home now that's getting back entrenched and bringing all our resources home. So it's like, I don't see no reason why you have to leave now. But
so what do you think is going to happen? That's what you think should happen. What do you think is going to happen? Are more and more of these kids?
No. I think this is going to happen. I think it's just as we speaking right now, it's happening. I think I'm leading the charge. Like I said, I don't want to even speak too much on everything that's going on, but I'm pretty much leading that charge, and I think we're gonna get it done. I'm like, and I said, I'm real, like, you know what I mean. I'm a relationship guy. I always been down to earth. I always had good relationships with everybody. Sam know that since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I knew Sam since I was in a freshman in high school. Like, you know what I mean? Sam probably one of the first guys to know I was good. So I'm just trying to come back and get the area back to that, what it was back then. You know what I'm saying? Because I see it ain't that no more. So I think we need to have it.
Is he overly ambitious, Sam? Can we keep him home?
He actually said the right thing. So he has the right ingredients to do what he need to do. So what I try to tell people, just like he said, it's too much fluff. Like if you play 22 games and 16 of them is bullshit, then that negates the whole public league from anybody wanting to stay in the public league. Now with the Catholic League and the dwindling of talent in the area and guys going to, and it's not necessarily guys is going to, we had the same problem back in the day when guys was leaving the Catholic League to go to Interact, when guys was leaving the Interact to go to certain area schools. Now what they're doing is they're going out of town instead of going to Abington Friends or Penn Charter or whatever the case may be. Philadelphia will always have talent. You just got to develop it. in Philadelphia. There's one good guard leave, there's going to be another good guard to come right behind them. Same with a wing, and somebody's going to be forced to be the star. And all you can think about moving forward, if you're trying to keep guys in town, give them the platform, give them the gym time they need to get better. Because God forbid, when you go out of town, you're bumping into guys that don't give a fuck about you. Can we say that on the show?
Y'all, you say what you want, bro.
Oh, okay. Because they don't care about you. So Ahmad is lucky because, you know, he got Tashie with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? God forbid if Tashie wasn't with him.
And he's in Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you don't know what you're going to see. You know, and he's keeping an eye on Justice and Big Boy. And, you know, it's just tough because, you know, like I said, Montvert is going to play 40 games and play against all tough games and scrimmage everybody.
They're playing right now as we speak. They play.
Yeah. And then when you look at Roman, they didn't even play their first game yet. And you know, why would I come back if you know you're about to face COVID next year too? Like, we got to keep it real about this COVID thing. It's not yet figured out. But down in Florida, they playing with masks, nobody in the stands and everything else. This is why my prep school is flourishing the way, you know, I just picked up a 7-footer today. We're flourishing because nobody else is playing. And because I'm able to go out of town and take my kids out of town, guys are willing to, you know what, coach, you've been good to me. God bless you. I think I'm going to play over here. And maybe I'll come back next year. But I'm going to tell you what happens. They get a taste of it with their travel, the way they treat you. You know, the cameras on you all the time. You're playing against good teams all the time. So it's like that glorified AAU. It's like the EYBL. When you look at elite high school and elite prep school, it's like the EYBL. And in Rock Top, you know, we've been average for so long now. All of a sudden, we start to become good, and we getting like you feel like a new team on the EYBL with some of the people that we play and how they treat us. Now everybody let us in the tournament.
So,
and, you know,
the next 2 years, I ain't gonna look up and see more 9th and 10th graders leaving the city, Sam.
I don't think they'll leave in 9th and 10th grade because it's too hard to identify how good they're going to be. Like a kid like Ahmad is rare. Like, he's very mature, high basketball IQ.
Physically ready, yes.
Yeah, physically ready, and he's a jump shot away from making money. Mm-hmm. But when you got some of these other freshmen, unless they're physically crazy, they can still be good and be 140 pounds and just grow into who they're going to be and what they're going to be. And these are the guys that we need to keep grounded. These are the guys we need to work with. All the guys that need development and maturity, and let them mature, even if they need to take an extra year. Because, you know, I was listening to Mark, you know, how he went to prep school after high school. That's what the plan should be if you need an extra year. But, you know, what happens, Philly, a couple of years ago, everybody wanted to take the extra year between 9th grade and 12th grade, which may not have been the best thing because now
Go ahead, Lee.
I don't even want to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off, but why do we frown upon that? Like, I want to know, why do we frown upon it? Because when I got to
reclassing,
I'm 29 years old, right? And dudes that was in my class, they turning 31, 32, and it's like when you get to the pros, it don't even matter. So why, if a kid is a senior that's going to reclass in the future AAU, like, why do we look down on that? I don't. Like, everybody else,
as long as the kid doesn't turn 19 before the first day of his senior year, I don't care. As long as you're in the rules, I wouldn't go so far putting white out on birth certificates. But short of that, it's whatever, man. Because
some kids need to reclass.
Yes,
right.
So for the right
situation,
some kids need to reclass.
I'll give y'all an example. Anthony Durham reclassed and did a prep year, right? And you know what else he did? He left Rider with a bachelor's and a master's. So he was more mature. He was able to focus. And in that 5-year period, how many kids you know actually play a 5th year and get the master's degree on time and leave with it? So I think that as a result of, you know, those 2 extra years in there, he matured. Would you finish what you were saying, Bass?
Well, I think with kids leaving, it's I'm always a big believer, stay at one school.
Mhm.
Jump in school, it's hard for an assistant coach on a college level because now you jumping through hoops to try to find different transcripts. Are they going to match up? So I'm a big component. You know, I played 4 years at one high school, didn't have to leave. So I can understand why some of them leave. I'm not a big fan. Now with this COVID, it's tough because kids want to play.
Mhm.
So yeah, they might jump ship, but I think you can get recruited where you at.
Let's assume that things get somewhat normal and we have a full season here on out starting next year. Kid is at Westtown, he don't gotta leave, right? Kid at Roman, we saw those kids leave. I was a little surprised, but the one kid is so highly ranked. I just know that the kind of things that were probably put in front of him would just be hard to resist, you know, the living conditions and all that. Same with Chance Westry. You get a chance to go live in the same house with Bronny James. I mean, your living style, your lifestyle changes, you know. But if you're playing at Newman, Imhotep, who else? Wood, you know, you don't have to leave, do you?
They can stay there.
I just like what Malik and Sam said. If you playing all these games and they're terrible, and you might only be playing 3 quarters, so yeah, they're gonna leave. If it's not high level competition and you playing 3 quarters, you know, and you feel you're not getting better.
But Bass, we saw it at your old school. You know, at Trent Catholic, we had kids leaving last year and the year before that. But the kid that stayed, Jameer Watkins, was he a 4-year guy at Trent
4-year
Catholic?
guy.
And he's at VCU doing well. I don't know.